is real. And then
Volume 2, Are You Kidding Me? My story is the ending. I'm happy to say that it's sold over 30,000 books in the first 3 months.
And just love each other anyway.
It says, we are not our wounds. My song says, remember who you are.
Facing head-on the emotions beneath the surface as we bridge from an old world of confusion and lack to a beautiful new world of freedom, abundance, and love with straightforward truth and inspired hope is what you'll find on the Charla Anderson Show. Collector and connector of fascinating people. And everyone is fascinating. Here's your host, Charla Anderson.
Good, beautiful day, beautiful, beautiful souls. This is Charla Anderson, host of the Charla Anderson Show, collector and connector of fascinating people, and everyone is fascinating, especially you. Thank you for joining us today. What you're about to hear is real. And then volume 2, Are You Kidding Me? With Kelly Lord. That's amazing. She's got amazing stories, and we're getting ready to learn all about that. But first, we're going to do our little breathing exercise. We're going to breathe in some calm for 7 seconds. We're going to hold for 4 seconds and breathe out gratitude for 11 seconds. So here we go. Let's take a breath and breathe in some calm. Here we go. Hold. Release. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We could all do that a few more times a day, I think. It's a good thing to get centered and grounded. And I can't wait to reintroduce you to Kelly Lord, my really precious friend, that the beautiful voice, the beautiful stories, and incredible books. And we're going, you know what I usually do, Kelly? Let's just share who you are in this world, and you know, we got your stories to talk about, and so much has happened since you were here last year. So come on, yeah. Kelly.
So my name's Kelly Lord. I'm a singer, songwriter, author, entrepreneur. I'm excited to be here with another fascinating person. I've written a book called What You're About to Hear is Real, and I did the book launch March 29th on my birthday of this year. What makes the book so unique is that each section of the book has an original song written and recorded by me that is embedded in the book using QR codes. I'm the first one to ever do it. And so very, very excited about this book. The purpose of the first volume is to let people know you can go through really hard things and not only be okay, but absolutely thrive. Because I grew up in a very violent alcoholic family. There are those who have, there are those who are, and there are those who will in the future be doing the same. The difference with my story is the ending. And so I was so excited to get this done. It was my life's work. All the music is original. It all goes with each section and really gives a different flavor when you listen to the music and the book at the same time. I'm happy to say that it's sold over 30,000 books in the first 3 months, totally taken by surprise with no marketing. And so I'm very, very excited about that. There's a lot that happened that I'm not going to talk about because that's actually going to be in the third book, but you'll see. And so because of what happened, and no spoiler alert, I'm going to keep it a secret for now, but you will be hearing all about it and you will be shocked at what I've been through in the last 4 months. Absolutely and completely shocked. It's unbelievable. People say my first book is unbelievable, but the book is called What You're About to Hear is Real. But because of what I've gone through, everyone had always asked me, will you ever write another book? I said, never. No, I'm not a writer. I'm a musician with a story to tell. And that was my life's work. Never. So they say never, because after what happened, I woke up and I just here's the second book. It's called What You're About to Hear is Real, Volume 2. Are You Kidding Me? Here are the outline bullets. And here's the ending. Here's what you're going to say at the end. And here's what you're going to do throughout the book. I thought, okay. And so that brought this to come alive, which is Volume 2. Are You Kidding Me? And I wrote this one in under a month. So I couldn't believe I just got up every day and just really just listened and just wrote and wrote and wrote and wrote. And I love this book. This book is very different from the first one. It's a continuation of my story. So in that way, that's why they're connected. Excuse me. But what makes this book so different, the first book, and people will tell you when they would, obviously they're referring it to people because I did no marketing on it. And to sell that many books, it was just word of mouth. And from my understanding is people would say the first 3 sections are really hard to read. But if you get past that, you'll be in for a roller coaster of a ride and you won't want to put it down. And that's true because this happened to a kid and I can't make that funny. The second, and so what happens with the first book, it's almost like I throw you in the deep end, whether you want to or not. And a lot of the feedback I got, they said, Kelly, I feel like I'm in the room with you. And sometimes I don't want to be, and a lot of people say, oh my gosh, it's like I'm watching a movie. And I said, that's how I write. I actually see it happen. And then I just write what I see. So this book is different because this lets you dip your toe in. You get to choose. It's not this stuff that the first book is. There are a couple sections that you'll go, are you kidding? All of them you'll go, are you kidding me? But there are 2 sections where you'll be like, holy tamale. But this one you dip your toe in. And this one, the first one, there's so many things that people are like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you went through that. And it's not something that a lot of people have been through. This book, the second book, people say, oh, I can so relate. I can so relate. Because this is more about life and things that happen. And what happens throughout the book is as things go through the progression, you see a page that says, are you kidding me? And it says, nope, sometimes life just happens. A coincidence, intuition, faith, a blessing, a miracle. We'll see. And that's throughout the whole book. And so the purpose of the first book is to let people know you can go through really hard things and not only be okay, but absolutely thrive. The purpose of the second book is to let you know that things may not be as they seem. When things seem like they're so hard and so tough and really difficult to be in, sometimes it's a blessing in disguise. And when you can see the bigger picture, I don't know, I'm sure you've done the same thing, Charla, where you look back and go, wow, that was actually a blessing. And I didn't realize it when I was going through it. And so that's what the second book is. I've already started writing the third book, which is about what I've just gone through, which will shock you. And it's called What You're About to Hear Is Real, Volume 3, Push Through the Pushback. And the purpose of that book is to say, stand in who you are and what you know, regardless of what's being pushed back against you, whether it's other people, their ideas, their thoughts, their negativity towards you. And more importantly, those negative thoughts we hear in our head where we start doubting ourselves and what we know. And then the fourth book, I don't have a name for yet, but I already know where that one starts. So that's my story. And actually, those are my stories and I'm sticking to it.
Incredible. I knew there was no second book in there. And then you said, I got a download. I'm going to be writing a second book. And all of a sudden it was done. We were talking and you did it. And it was done. And then you got it published on your own, republished your first one on your own, and those are part of the stories of book 3. But I've kind of been traveling this last year or so journey with you.
Absolutely, you have been such a gift to me and such a great sounding board. And I think that's 2 things I would like to say. That's so important to have people around you who you trust and who are faithful and God people and who support you. And Charla, ever since I met you, I've met so many amazing people, and I call them God people. It's not about religion. It's about just people who are living the best they can, the best life they can, and doing the best in life that they can. And on my first book launch, I was shocked when I'd gone to your house for a party. There were probably about 30 women. And I walked away from that party just jaw dropped because I had never been around that many women without 1 ounce of judgment against others or comparing themselves or any of that, and not 1 ounce of it. And everyone left that room so elevated and so supported and just happy. And so when my first book launch came around, I was shocked to see a whole boatload of you women who came into my book launch. Some of you drove over 2 hours each way, Elion, to get there. And it was so humbling. And you came to my second book launch just, a couple of weeks ago. And so 2 things: surrounding yourself by people, and you live this, Charla, good people, but it's mirrored back on you because that's what you give people. You give people a place to be who they are with love. And my motto is love, light, and laughter. Well, the interesting thing, what I just went through, I'll be honest with you, it knocked me down. It took the breath out of me. I did not know if I was going to be able to get back up. And I've been through a lot in my life. So for me to say I almost didn't get back up are the scariest words that have ever come out of my mouth, because those words have never been uttered by me. And it took months. And it's only been probably in the last 3 weeks that I feel like my feet are finally firmly back underneath me. And that's due to things that people have done. And later on, I'm going to read a poem that I wrote, not because of this incident, but I had written it before. And it's prime about the third book. I'm actually really excited about, because that's where you start seeing the strength that can come from. You'll learn about why I got knocked down, and you'll feel it. You're like, is she going to get back up? Because I wasn't sure if I was going to get back up. But the neat thing is, and we all have our things. We're all betrayed. We've all been betrayed by someone or something. We've all had these trials and tribulations. My stuff in my first book, that's intense. It happened to a kid. It's really intense, and a lot of it's very bizarre. But the feelings are the same. And that's why I think it's gone so viral, because 1 or 2 sections will hit you. Men have told me, you got me. You made me cry. I said, my job is done then. That wasn't my intention, but it touches their heart, because we are all emotional beings, and we may not have the same situations, but they'll be the same feelings. So I was betrayed by XYZ. You've been betrayed by ZDX. But the point is to get back up. And that truly is the other purpose of book 2. Get back up. No matter what, get back up. And I think it's so important in life to be able to, the funny thing is, Charla, I'm a very private person, ironically, right? And yet people have a hard time looking at me after reading book 1, because they feel like they read my diary. Because I'm very vulnerable. It's real. It's just real. And I'm okay with that. And I look at them, I'm like, I know what you read. It's okay. But I think if we were all more honest and open, the world would be such a different place. And that's why it's so important that we have places like you and your show and people like you who are getting the word out to people that it's okay to be honest about where we are in life. While I was going through this, I was supposed to do a live talk. I had gone back to the Midwest for a while, and I was supposed to come out here and do a talk. And I was in no way ready to. I didn't even have my feet underneath me, but I had made that commitment. So I flew out telling the host I was not at my best. I didn't know what I was going to do. I really didn't. And I had written the talk months before, and the night before, I hear a voice that says, you're not going to use that talk. These things are more important that have happened now. I said, okay. So the night before, I did bullet points because I didn't have time to memorize anything. And I get in the morning, I have my little carry-on suitcase, and Spirit says, you're not going to use that. Keep it in the suitcase. And I said, okay. He said, follow my lead. All right. And I just got up and I just bore my soul. I said, look, I had 3 things that happened, one right after another, that knocked me to my knees. I'm not my normal self. I'm not the best that I can be. However, I knew that the people here were safe, that you would be a safe place for me to come and share what's happened without judgment, and that's exactly what happened. And so as we grow, and I say we, and I mean people of faith, people of God, good people, who want to be a place for people. And, Charlie, you and I have had many conversations about different things, and it's okay for us to not agree on everything. That's not what being friends are. That's not what being a safe place means. It's not about you have to be exactly what, no. I can disagree with you, absolutely, and I can do it with kindness and gentleness and say, okay, well, we truly can agree to disagree, but I love you. So we can agree not to talk about this particular subject. But where do we agree? Okay, we're all good people. Okay, let's start from there.
And though, so what you're saying, and we're in a season right now in our country that we can just say, you must have different sources of information than I do, and just love each other anyway. And my show being ideally about overcoming and offering hope, that's kind of the undercurrent of our theme of the show. And you're like the epitome. You're the perfect epitome of this overcoming and all that. And you brought up the event that I had at my house March 1st of last year. It was for Win Win Women. This is on Win Win Women platform right now. And the Win Win Women International Women's Day global, events in March. And so we went, I just had a gathering of some people that many didn't know each other. Some I had only met the week before, and some I'd never met. And it really was like a spirit-filled, my home was just lifted. I mean, it was amazing to find these beautiful souls in my space. And then we met both, Elian brought, we mentioned her twice now, love her, another show host. She brought Terry Lee Harrison, and Terry Lee Harrison has taken both you and me kind of under her wing. She started Bree Talks, which is bold, real, and impactful Bree Talks for faith-based speakers to have a platform and speaker training, and she's a master at all that, and just a beautiful, beautiful soul. But what she and her theme of her talks now is about shame and overcoming shame and being real and authentic. And the more real and authentic you can be, it's like people know, they see you now, they know about you and your story, and relate to you probably more deeper than prior. There's no more. Authenticity is the new sexy, I keep saying, so it's like, what if we really had real conversations? In fact, I had a conversation the other day with this lady I knew 15 years ago. She accidentally butt dialed me, and I had her number in there, but I didn't remember who she was. Crazy. But we had a 2-hour conversation, and she's like, it's so nice to talk about things that are real and deep and not just the surface stuff. Well, if you know me, I don't do small talk well. I get right to it, and just love people and love them unconditionally. And the harder people are to love, the more they need it. And that's the message. It's my message. So I am so grateful to have you in my life, and your incredible voice and your incredible music and your incredible gift and spirit and listening. So often there's so much noise in our world. We're not listening to that still small voice, that word, this Holy Spirit, or the Spirit in us. And you have a gift of really listening to that. And now a secondary gift of totally sharing it vulnerably and beautifully. You wanted to sing a song, you want to say a poem. So tell me when those times are right for you.
I'll do it in just a moment. But as you were speaking, one of the favorite lines in my book at the end, well, two things. At one of the songs at the very end, the music starts playing and it says, "These are the things that have happened to me. It's not who I am. I am a child of God, loved beyond measure, precious, and of divine nature. And so are you." And then the music plays, and it's one of my favorite songs. Well, actually, whatever song I'm listening to is my favorite song at the time. Okay. And the other thing at the end of the first book, it says, "We are not our wounds. Wounds can heal." And I think one of the harshest things I've ever heard, and I've heard it quite often, unfortunately, is people will say about someone else, "Oh, they're broken." I've heard it in professional settings, like with therapists. And I'm like, how can you say a person is broken? We don't break. we have wounds, and sometimes it takes time for our wounds to heal, but wounds can heal. And that's the purpose of what I'm doing. So when I said that I'm a very private person, but yet here I am basically sharing everything, it's for a reason, it's for a purpose. And I'm okay with that. And this is the path that God wants me to do. Like I said, I never thought I would write a second book, let alone a third book and a fourth book. And I know exactly why. You know, when this was all going through, when this stuff that's in the third book happened, I was stuttering. I couldn't even speak. I couldn't get out of bed because I couldn't wrap my head around what I had just experienced. And on the third day, I was trying to get up. I was sitting on the edge of my bed, and I woke up with tears on my cheeks because I was crying in my sleep. And I sat up, and I heard the still small voice say, "Kelly, I'm not punishing you. I'm trusting that you will be strong enough that I can utilize you." Now, what happened to me is happening to other people. They just don't know it yet in terms of what's in my book 3. And it is my mission to let people know what is happening in the publishing world. And when my books are done, I actually will help people self-publish, because there are so many things going on in the publishing world that have shocked me to my core that people are not aware of. And that's my mission, to let people know know what's going on, to know what red flags to be looking for, and to know that things aren't always as they seem. And I'm okay with it now. If you had told me 5 months ago that's what I'd be doing, I'm like, no. In my mind, Charla, the book 1 was my life's work, 20 years. I really thought once I had published it, I would finally be able to and cross stitch. That's what I was looking forward to. Oh, I can cross stitch now. That was my life's purpose, and I knew it my whole life. So when it was done, I was like, oh, but God sometimes has other things for us. So I'm going to sing. The music doesn't work for some reason. You guys won't be able to hear the music as I play it. This is the one song on my album that I did not write in my book. All the other books were original, but this one is not. You'll know the song. It's a beautiful song. The reason I want to sing it today is because in the second book, you'll see there were some really hard things that I went through, as we all did. But I've got the gift to be able to write about it. That's the only difference between me and you, or not you, because you write too. But that's the only difference. And we all go through our stuff. And there are times where we are knocked down, and we may not think we can get back up. And when I was in the second book, and you'll know where it is when you read the book, I would sing this song in the bedroom I was in, and I sang it, tears would just stream down my face, because I knew someday it would be over, what I was going through. I didn't know when, I didn't know how, but I knew someday. And so I would sing this song, and I always felt better. So I want to share it with you now. Over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I've heard of once in a lullaby. Somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue, and dreams that you've dared to dream really do come true. Someday I'll wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where troubles melt like lemon drops away above the chimney tops. That's where You are somewhere over the rainbow. Oh, bluebirds fly. Oh, birds fly over the rainbow. Why then, oh, why then, oh, why can't I want to fly? I know I'll fly. Oh.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. We're recording this live, and in editing, I think we'll pull it off of your channel and actually insert it in here, because we want to have the music, and there was moments that it wasn't quite
Bummer.
best. So
I sounded great here.
yeah. And so, that's it. Editing does a lot. We can do some things. So I think that might be a good workaround for this particular time. Yeah.
Perfect.
Oh, but I get chills. I mean, I know that it means so much to you, and who doesn't love that song?
And I'd love to end with reading my poem, if that's okay. Does that work for you?
It absolutely works for me. So we have a few more minutes or a half an hour if we want to, but we don't have to go that long. But I want to, is there good words that you want to, really share and leave with you? I think you've said so many of your nuggets, so your truths. And so if there's a final message before you read your poem, and by the way, I'm going to ask, I forget to do this. I'm going to say, if you love Kelly, if you love Charla, like and subscribe and get her books. I'm telling you, and I want to just add that first book. I've not read the second, but I've read the first one, and that every time, each section has its own private, personal, what do you call it? Original song that fits her feelings around that subject or that section. And it's such a unique book. And the Audible, both of them are available on Audible. It's worth getting those books. They're beautiful.
And were you able to put in the link where you can buy the books?
They're on Amazon. I did. I'm going to put it in the description, a link.
I just want to say this. Please go to Amazon.com, type in Kelly Lord Volume, and that'll take you to both books under me. Please do not purchase them from Beyond Publishing, who published my first book, because I'm just going to say this. They were fired in June, and they still have the book up and have refused to take it down. Please do not buy from them. They're not supposed to have it up. Please buy from me. There. My final words, Charla, would be, like my song says, remember who you are. Because this day and age where everything is topsy-turvy, everything is upside down, what's right is wrong, what's wrong is right, it's rough out there. But when we take the time to be still, to put the music away, put the TV away, put the noise away, and be still, that's when we'll not only be able to hear ourselves, but we'll be able to receive the inspiration that comes to us. And that's what I love this poem. It's called I'm Here. And it says, I'm not who I was, where I've been, or what I've done. I'm not what they said, what they did, or what they've done. I'm right here. I'm right now. And I'm free to choose my best. Let it go, say goodbye, and leave all the rest. I've wasted too much time. I've given too much good to worry anymore about the things they said I should. I'm free now. I can let go now. Let go of that past. It's really very easy and can happen really fast. I just listen to my heart and be very still. If I listen closely, it will tell me what it will. And when I know it, I will know, I will feel it in my soul. I'll want to live it, want to be it. It will be my one true goal. To sing, to shout and dance around, to laugh and cry at what I've found. It's me. I'm here. And I like what I see. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I know who I can be. I see it clearly. Here I am. I'm looking me in my face. No longer will I run around lost in this crazy rat race, searching here and there, looking high and low, worrying and wondering which way should I go. I see my path. It's clearly lit, and it's calling out my name. It's time to put away that past, let go of all that blame. For I feel strong and worthy now of all God's got to give. The only thing I must do is love, laugh, and live. And I love that this poem came through me because it's what I think if we all truly did, let go of the past, let go of the blame, the shame, all the mistakes, everything we did. Today is a new day. And my other poem that it will always be at the end of every one of my books says, where you've been and what you've done has helped you be who you've become. Right or wrong, good or bad, it's your life. It's what you've had. But he will help you to stand in your light. He will help you to make your choices right. So stand in your footprints. They were made just for you. Stand in your footprints and see what you can do. And Charla, if each one of us do that, that's how we change the world. One step at a time, one person at a time, one laugh at a time, one life at a time.
Profound, girl, man. You really followed, I guess, just followed the instructions you're given. And I don't think a year ago you would have known anything about who you are now. You couldn't have predicted that. And then most of us are like that. We are not our circumstances. We are not our bodies. We are not anything but our spirit. If something happened to me and I lost a limb, I mean, I would look different, but I wouldn't be different. Right? So we have that opportunity truly to let our light shine, just love unconditionally, no judgment. I love when you said that about my little gathering, that, it was no judgment zone. It didn't even seem to cross anybody's mind, So
It's actually in the third book, just so you know. How profound of an experience it was.
Really? Wow. Well, and we had met a few months, maybe a year before that too, but that was a game changer for a lot of us, I think. So I want to, this is the way I end a lot of my shows, and I'll just do it this time too. Just, if we're talking to people that are hurting or whatever, I just want you to know you're perfect exactly who and where you are. You can't be loved more or less by God. If you're in the gutter, if you can or in the castle, doesn't matter. If God is love, he can't be not loved, and you are loved as you are, exactly where you are right now. And when we can remember that, you said the feet. So if you be where your feet are, if you just be there, you can't change 1 second about the past. You can only change the next second. And just know that you are loved. I guarantee you that Kelly Lord and Charla Anderson love you as you are. And the harder people are to love, the more they need it. Unconditional love, unconditional forgiveness, not unconditional boundaries. That's another piece of it. So Kelly, thank you so very, 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 very much to have spent some time with us today. I'm so grateful. We got the Charla Anderson Show ending up season 2. we'll be starting season 3 next in the beginning of the year. I'm like, what? Where does the time go?
I think
so
I was
much
one of
fun.
the first guests, wasn't I?
I think, yes, you were probably in the first 5 or 6 at the
Yes.
show. Yeah.
Yay! And look at you now. Look at you now.
So we're still doing it. And so anyway, I want to just end profoundly. I mean, the way I always say is just always, always, always choose joy.
Thank you, Charla.
Parting is such sweet sorrow. The Charla Anderson Show, encouraging you to stand strong and courageous with bold faith, no fear, immense hope, kindness, and love, especially towards yourself. Visit charlaanderson.com for replays, blogs, and more on her ever-expanding website, as well as watch her live TV show on winwinwomen.tv, Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. And so that we can continue learning together and growing this community of beautiful souls, we invite you to share the Charla Anderson Show with your circle of friends. Until we meet again next week, remember always, choose joy.